I am on a mission to age gracefully and heal holistically. I believe that you can heal your body with nourishing whole foods and herbs, a daily yoga and mobility practice while taking the necessary time to address your mental health. Imagine being able to manage your mental health properly, blending nourishment, self-care, and personal development daily, with a coach by your side to support your journey, cheering you on even when you hit those spots that feel muddy. That is my role as your coach, and I take it seriously, to give you the courage and the strength to see that sometimes evolving can feel emotionally heavy. But under a tarnished surface lies strength and beauty. If you are open to push through your adversity, you will redefine who you are with abundant tenacity. If you would like to learn more, please don't wait. Start your journey toward the holistic approach today. Awesome, and welcome back to Holistically Speaking. This is a bi-weekly discussion where we share how to manage your mental health using the 3 pillars of the Holistic Approach Hybrid Coaching Program: nourishment, self-care, and personal development. I'm Vanessa Reagans, your holistic health coach, and I'm here on LinkedIn 2 Saturdays every single month. And you can follow me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/Vanessa Reagans. So we're going to begin with the first pillar, nourishment. Nourishment, for me in the Holistic Approach program, consists of a combination of things. We work to manage your food intake, hydration, so your water intake, make sure you have enough electrolytes. We look over your sleep, and then we also add in herbs. So we are going to first learn about one of my favorite herbs called sage. You're probably very familiar with this. It's a culinary herb. And today we're going to just review and explore the herbal actions of sage, and then a few awesome uses with sage. I've only been familiar with using sage culinarily, so this has been really fun to explore this herb. And in herb school that I'm currently in right now, this was my culinary herb. So we got to partner up with an herbal buddy and we created a presentation around this herb. So I'm very excited about it and I loved what I learned. So let's dive in here. First, we're going to go over the herbal actions of sage. So I love this because it reminded me of massage school, that every muscle has an action. Well, every herb has multiple actions on how they interact with your body on a chemical level and all the way down to that cellular level. So for sage, herbal actions are antibacterial and astringent, bitter, and an expectorant. So antibacterial, keeping the bacteria at bay and away, the bad bacteria. Astringent helps with tightening any tissue that might be leaking. And I'll explain a little bit more as to how the astringent action of sage is helpful. It is a bitter taste. So if you ever taste sage tea, which I'll explain a little bit later, that has a bit more of a bitter taste to the mouth, to the taste buds. And an expectorant is really where you might be using this to help with expecting or expelling something from the body in a cough form. All right. Now we're going to move through a couple more areas of this. I want to go into the uses. So if you have any questions about these actions, please let me know in those comments below. We can review them at the end. Now the uses are going to reflect the actions of sage. So first, let's talk about women's health. Sage can support women's health in a variety of ways. It can help regulate the women's cycles, and it helps weaning off breastfeeding. So that astringent action that is tightening up and helps women as they're weaning off breastfeeding, kind of drying up those milk ducts. And it also supports in premenopause. So something that I loved personally was that sage can support you in over sweating. And that's definitely something I personally feel very self-conscious about. And reading more into this incredible herb that goes way beyond culinary uses, it can support you if you are having, for menopause, obviously, for those hot flashes. For me, it's just if my body gets way too warm, depending on the weather. Sometimes also anxiety can cause that to happen, or if I'm very, very tense, or the vagus nerve has been stimulated somewhat. So that can create a lot of perspiring in me. So when I learned that, I was very excited, and I plan on experimenting with that much more in the future. So we're going to move into the upper respiratory uses of sage. And so this is if you have a cough or any hoarseness, if there are any infections of the mouth, nose, and throat, any throat conditions. You think of coughing and hoarseness, you think of, is it a wet cough? Is it a dry cough? Really pinpointing what those differences are. Sage can really help, especially if it is more of a wet cough, to kind of dry up that mucus so it's not causing that repeating coughing. It'll kind of close it up, dry it up, and push in whatever is bugging your system out, which is great. We're going to move into brain health. This was another really awesome find when I was researching this herb. So it improves your memory. It's useful in treating Alzheimer's, and it also reduces your anxiety. So there's, going back to improves memory, there's literally a tea that has sage in it that is for improving memory. There are 2 studies in herbalgram.com that I found very helpful when researching how it is treated in Alzheimer's, and then there's also studies on it reducing anxiety. So it also can clear that emotional obstruction that you might just need a little extra push to get through. So that is just a little snippet of what sage can do for you, the herbal actions, and some incredible uses of this, what I used to consider such a simple culinary herb. So we're going to, from here, move into the self-care portion of this episode. So please let me know if you have any questions on these herbs or how to use sage in your personal life, and we can discuss that later in the comments. So now moving into self-care. For me, self-care is blending yoga, Qigong, and exercise that gets your heart rate up so that you are really, you are getting your heart rate up and you are sweating. So getting your heart rate up to those higher levels. So for today, we're going to do a little bit of yoga for our self-care. So I'm going to just take a moment to reset a few things and get on the mat. And I have a little timer, so we'll do about 3 minutes or less, and then we will jump right into this self-care portion. So I'll see you in just a second. Here is what you're going to need, and make sure you also have water nearby. All right, welcome back.
A little bit more of a delay than I was planning, sorry about that.
So we're just going to prepare for 6 sun salutations. By doing a couple rounds of a couple yin poses first to prepare. So we're going to come onto the floor. Here we are. Perfect. And we're going to come down to our mat. So our feet are going to be our hip width apart. And then we're going to soften the feet, soften the knees. And we're going to do our caterpillar pose. So we're going to take the very top of our head and point it down towards the floor.
And then starting with the base of your spine, you're going to begin to roll the head up nice and easy. Head and neck are the last to come up.
Perfect. Now we're just going to literally open up our feet to a comfortable V. And we're going to do the very same thing. You can use your hands to support you. You're going to try to keep the feet soft, keep the knees soft, and if the thighs roll inward, that's totally fine. So we're going to take the very top of our head and point it down towards the floor.
Perfect. Starting with the base of your spine, go ahead and roll the torso up. Head and neck are the last to come up. Go ahead and micro bend the knees, rock the legs out a bit, and when you're ready, you're going to bring the legs back together, and we'll rock them out together. From here, we're going to flex the feet, keep the knees nice and soft. Let's inhale, both arms up, and exhale, gentle forward fold. Pausing here, take a deep inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Good, long exhale out. Starting with the base of our spine, we're going to roll the torso up. Head and neck are the very last to come up. From here, we're going to move to tabletop spine. Hips are stacked over the knees. Walk your hands forward so the shoulders are behind your wrist joints. From here, we're going to inhale into cat. Exhale, drop the glutes back, drop the elbows down, and guide yourself back to tabletop spine. And again, inhale into cat. Long exhale, drop the glutes back, drop the elbows down, guide yourself to tabletop spine. From here, we're gonna spread the hands nice and wide on our mat, tuck your toes under, and press back to downward dog. If the heels don't touch the floor, no worries, just keep pressing them down in that direction. Lift the tailbone towards the ceiling. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Good, long exhale out. Look at the space between your hands. You're gonna walk your feet to your hands, meeting in forward fold. Inhale to tabletop spine. Exhale, come back to forward fold. Engage the glutes. We'll inhale both arms up. And exhale, guide your hands to your heart center. Perfect. So I'm going to demo the Sun Salutation, and then I'm going to also demo how to modify this Sun Salutation as well. So feet hip width apart, toes are forward. This is the full Sun Salutation. We'll inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. On this exhale, step your right foot back, followed by the left foot, shifting to plank, shifting forward. Don't let your hips dip down. Engage the core. Elbows graze the ribs. You're gonna lower yourself all the way down to the floor. You're gonna engage the glutes, squeeze them together. Inhale into Cobra Up Dog. That should not feel like it's crunching your back. Exhale, tuck your toes, and we'll come back to Downward Dog. We'll look at the space between our hands and walk your feet to your hands, meeting in forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. Exhale, back to forward fold. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, hands to our heart center. Now, the next part I'm going to show is the modification. So when we step back, we can drop the knees down. I still want you to step back if you can. And then we'll drop the knees to chaturanga. All right, here we go. Feet hip width apart, toes are forward. I'm just going to show you this modification. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. On this exhale, step your left foot back, followed by the right foot. Shifting to plank. From here is where you drop the knees. Still, we're not letting our hips sink. Bring them up. Engage the core. Elbows graze the ribs. Lower yourself down. Then we'll engage the glutes. Squeeze the glutes together. Inhale to Cobra Up Dog. Exhale, tuck your toes under. Return to Downward Dog. Then we'll look at the space between our hands. Walk your feet to your hands, meeting in forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. Exhale, back to forward fold. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, guide your hands to your heart center. Perfect. So you're going to choose which variation you're going to do. I'm going to do a couple rounds of dropping the knees. If you want to stay with that variation, you can do that the rest of the remainder of the Sun Salutation rounds. If you want, you can join me, or you can just lift the knees all the time. It's completely up to you. Whatever your body is comfortable with. So let's start at the top, feet hip width apart, toes are forward. We'll inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. On our exhale, step your right foot back, followed by the left foot, shifting to plank, shifting forward. You can stay here, or you can drop the knees down. Elbows graze the ribs, lower yourself down. Engage the glutes. Inhale to Cobra Up Dog. Exhale, tuck your toes. Come back to Downward Dog. Looking at the space between our hands, we're going to walk our feet to our hands, meeting in forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. And exhale, come back to forward fold.
Engage the glutes. We'll inhale both arms up together. And exhale, guide your hands to your heart center. Good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, gentle forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. On our exhale, step your left foot back, followed by the right foot, shifting to plank, shifting forward. You can keep your knees up or drop them down. Elbows grace the ribs, lower yourself down. Engage the glutes. Inhale to cobra up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, come back to downward dog. Looking at the space between our hands, we'll walk our feet to our hands, meeting in forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. Exhale, come back to forward fold. Good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, guide your hands to your heart center. I'm not going to drop my knees the next 4 rounds, but you can. Feel free to do so. Inhaling up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. On this exhale, step your right foot back, followed by the left foot, shifting to plank, shifting forward. Drop your knees if you want to. Elbows graze the ribs, lower yourself down. Engage the glutes. Inhale to cobra up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, back to downward dog. Looking at the space between our hands, we'll walk our feet to our hands, meeting in forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. Exhale, back to forward fold. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, guide your hands to your heart center. Good. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. On this exhale, step your left foot back, followed by the right foot. Shifting to plank, shifting forward. You can drop your knees here. Elbows graze the ribs, lower yourself down. Engage the glutes. Inhale to cobra up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes. Back to downward dog. Looking at the space between our hands, we're gonna walk our feet to our hands, meeting in forward fold. Good. Inhale, tabletop spine. Exhale, come back to forward fold. Good. Inhale, both arms up. And exhale, guide your hands to your heart center. 2 more. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. On your exhale, step your right foot back, followed by the left foot, shifting to plank, shifting forward. Elbows graze the ribs, lower yourself down. Engage the glutes. Inhale to cobra up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, back to downward dog. Looking at the space between our hands, we'll walk our feet to our hands, meeting in forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. Exhale, back to forward fold. From here, we'll inhale, both arms up. And exhale, guide your hands to your heart center. Last one, inhaling up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, tabletop spine. On this exhale, step your left foot back, followed by the right foot, shifting to plank, shifting forward. Elbows graze the ribs, lower yourself down, engage the glutes. Inhale to cobra up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes. Return to downward dog. We'll pause here. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Good. Long exhale out. Looking at the space between our hands, we'll walk our feet to our hands, meeting in forward fold. Bring the opposite hand to the opposite elbow, allowing your torso, neck, and head to fold forward. Have a nice micro bend in your knee. Inhale through the nose. Long exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Good. Long exhale out. Release your hands to the mat. Keep that bend in the knee. Press away from the floor with your feet. We're going to roll up to standing. And at the top, let's inhale, both arms up. And exhale, guide your hands to your heart center. Perfect. So that was about a 10-15 minute
little 6 sun salutations. It's a great way to boost your energy, boost your focus, get your blood moving throughout your body, and it's a full body. You're working your whole body when you're doing a full sun salutation round. Every single part of your body is working. When I don't do these for a while and then I will do them, I literally feel it everywhere. So I hope that is helpful. I hope that you definitely feel a little bit of that. But that's just a kind of a little sneak peek into the type of way that I teach. In the Holistic Approach program, you get access to 3 different styles of yoga and Qigong. So I would love to hear your feedback on how that feels in your body. And then from here, we're going to transition into our personal development. So I'd like to invite you to join me on the floor or take a seat in a chair. And we are just going to take a moment and work on our personal development. So if you want to have a piece of paper, a journal, or just notes in your phone, that's totally fine. We're going to do a quick coaching exercise. One that I love to do every single week with my clients because it helps you with just a simple reflection of the week, and it also helps you know and keep tabs on really what you're accomplishing every single week. There are times when I feel like, man, I didn't do anything, and then I'll look back at my ClickUp or my calendar and I'll see that I've actually accomplished quite a lot. So this is a great way to reflect and to honor what you've completed over this past week. So the very first thing that I would like for you to do on your journal or paper is think back to last week and jotting down 2 to 3 bullet points of celebrations. 2 or 3 things that happened last week that you would like to honor and celebrate. They can be really, really big accomplishments, or they can be itsy bitsy. Does not matter. They're all valuable and valid. If you're comfortable with it, you can also participate by answering in the comment box. It's completely up to you. So after you have listed those 2 to 3 celebrations, we're going to look at these 3 celebrations on your paper or your device, wherever you're writing these or typing these out. And I want you to think, what were some obstacles that came in the way? Even though those things are celebrated, from this last week, were there any obstacles? And we really just want to take this opportunity to acknowledge those and make a goal or a ritual or something that you can do to navigate through, because sometimes obstacles are going to be there, but just going to happen. But maybe a more graceful way to navigate through that obstacle might be a little handy way to just take a moment to reflect on when that happens again. If there was an obstacle, how can you navigate through that situation more gracefully? And this can be for one or all of those celebrations. But really thinking, maybe there's one obstacle that can impact all of those celebrations. You can also write that as well. And now, from this point, I will have you look at the celebrations and look at your obstacles. And based on those 2 topics that you wrote down, I want you to now write 2 or 3 goals that are going to help you accelerate through the week ahead, through the week that's coming up. What can you do when those obstacles come up? What can you do when that situation occurs again? What are some goals that you can do to support you with that? Maybe for me, it's if I don't feel like doing my HIIT training workout,
then I'll do a yoga shred. If I don't feel like doing a yoga shred, then I'll do a hatha class or a yin class. Doing something, giving yourself other options and other ways to navigate through that obstacle of I don't really want to do my workout, which is just an example. So once you have those goals down, I hope that you can take some time today to reflect on those goals and see how you can start to implement these into your week. Now, if you also come into some situations where you feel like, man, I don't really know how to navigate through this, then I'd like to invite you to reach out to me and let me know how I can support you. And sometimes just having a second pair of eyes is very, very helpful to help you see something you may not have seen before. So there's a couple different ways you can reach out to me. I am live and active on LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm going to be starting TikTok, and I'm on YouTube. So please feel free to connect with me there. You can also reach out to me on my website. I have a live chat feature. So anytime you have a question, you can just jump on my website. It's theholisticapproach.health. And you can just click on the chat bubble, and that will literally send me a notification to my device that you have reached out to me. So that's another way that you can do that. So I just want to take a moment to wrap up everything that we discussed today. We learned and explored the culinary herb sage. We learned the herbal actions of sage, and then we explored a few ways to use sage, several ways to use sage. And I hope that was very helpful for you. And then we transitioned into some self-care. We started with some yin poses to support our bodies moving through 6 rounds of sun salutations, either modified or not. And then we just worked through the celebrate and accelerate exercise that I do with my clients in the Holistic Approach hybrid program. If you're interested in connecting with me more, there are 2 different ways that I'd like to invite you to connect with me and welcome you to subscribe to my brand new newsletter. It's called The Holistic Approach, and you will be getting information on our herb of the month along with a recipe so you can use that herb right away and think beyond the teacup. So I have recipes for you that are going to be beyond your teacup. It's not just tea. So if you're like, man, I don't like tea, I'm not a fan, there are so many ways to utilize and implement these herbs into your daily life. So I'm so excited to share that with you. Another way to reach out to me is also booking your discovery call. All the information and all the details, the breakdown, the outline of what we do in the Holistic Approach. You are defining and strengthening the 3 pillars of the Holistic Approach, which are nourishment, self-care, and personal development, but how those are a definition of you, how you define those, and crafting and formulating the Holistic Approach to support you in your lifestyle. So to find out any of that information, please visit theholisticapproach.health. It has been a pleasure being with you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you would be interested in seeing the recording, it's always going to be up on YouTube right after we close out for the day. All right, I hope you have a fantastic week ahead, and I will see you in the next Holistically Speaking. Take care, everyone.